Hello viewers, welcome to my channel One Piece Journey. If you like my videos, please give it thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Today we are going to be examining unofficial vice captain of Straw Hat Pirates, the swordsman Roronoa Zoro. Roronoa Zoro is a rather stoic and serious individual whose dream is to become world's greatest swordsman. This dream began during his childhood where he trained at a dojo in Choman, ski village in Blue East. Here's our Zoro powerful enough to beat most dull students, however there still remained one individual whose aura could not overcome the dojo masters, Karina, whose aura drives to be the best on full display. In total, he challenged Karina to 2001 matches and proceeded to lose all 2001. After the final match, which was only one conducted with the real sword, Zoro cried out in frustration and confessed his dream of becoming world's greatest swordman. Following this, Karina could find that she had the same dream, however the quest would be impossible as her father had told her that women cannot become true sword masters. Zoro, annoyed that he was being beaten repeatedly by someone with such a defeatist nature, then claimed that he would one day defeat her not because she was a girl but because he would be more skilled. The two then made a promise that either one of them had to become world's greatest swordman in the future. Sadly, this promise didn't get off to the greatest start, as the very next day Karina suffered a fatal fall down some stairs. Zoro then inherited Karina's sword, the war with Shaman G, and resolved to become world's greatest swordman to fulfill both of their dreams. Now here I should point out that achieving that dream is fairly simple on paper. One simple need to defeat the current world's greatest swordman in order to gain the title, and eventually Zoro learned the name of the man he had to surpass, which was Drake Year Mihawk. He then set out to the sea in search of Mihawk, but was never able to return home because he got lost. Zoro's sense of direction is actually notoriously poor, and he is incapable of taking even the most basic of instruction. It's actually so bad that there have been situations in which characters have quite literally pointed in the direction he needs to go, and Zoro had gone completely opposite way. Now generally this quirk is used as more of a gag, but in this case it's actually quite vital to his history, as not being able to find his way home, Zoro decided to make a living as a bounty hunter. Eventually Zoro grew notorious even that he was given the quiet epithet of pirate hunter and was even offered a job by then warlord of the sea, Sir Crocodile, and Zoro was even prepared to accept the position on condition that he was made the boss of the organization. The agent offering Zoro the position that refused, and allegedly Zoro proceeded to kill him in self-defense. Sometime later, Zoro found himself in Charlestown, and after an altercation involving an innocent girl being attacked by this pirate dog, Zoro was tied to a wooden pole across thingy for a bounty hunter lifestyle. However, 9 days into his sentence, everything changed when a boy by the name of Monkey D. Luffy invited him to become the first member of his new pirate crew. Zoro, like most reasonable human beings, refused this offer outright at first. However, after a trustee brought to execute Zoro was uncovered, he accepted Luffy's invitation, and two of them proceeded to break face over time as a member of Straw Hat Pirates. Zoro's true nature has emerged, showing him to be much more fun-loving individual than we would have previously thought. And although he does remain the most serious member of crew, he is exceptionally tolerant of their antics and is capable of highly comical anger, as well as a wide array of other quirks that make him a perfect fit within this band of misfits. However, one of Zoro's most defining traits is that the honor and loyalty of the swordsman. Zoro follows the strict rule of Bushido, refusing to engage in underhanded tactics in battle. believing that a scar on swordsman's back is a sign of shame. Zoro is also fiercely loyal and obeys his captain's command without question, even if he personally disagrees with them. More often than not, though, Zoro has complete faith and belief in Luffy, making them an exceptionally powerful pair. Now Zoro is also particularly unique because he was given the chance to make his dream a reality very early on the series when by chance Straw Hats encountered Tickle Mihawk during Baratie A arc. Zoro challenged Mihawk instantly, who absolutely obliterated with him nothing but his Kogatana. Once Zoro realized his defeat, he presented himself to Mihawk in order to be dealt the final blow. Mihawk, impressed by Zoro's honor as a swordman, rewarded him by using his famed sword Yoro to finish the fight. Mihawk then set Zoro a challenge to surpass him, and Zoro tearfully exclaimed to Luffy that he would never lose again. And thus so far Zoro has made good on that promise, encountering stronger and stronger enemies as Straw Hat sailed through Ace Blue and into the Grand Line, managing to dispatch each and every one of his opponents using his signature combat style known as Sun Tortilla. Performing this martial art requires wielding one sword in each hand as well as rather unconventionally in his mouth. And look, it doesn't seem that odd anymore after 900 chapters, but this is incredibly weird and we should never forget that. However, Sanryu is undeniably cool and gives Zoro access to a whole host of offensive and defensive maneuvers due to the extra sword. With that said, Zoro has also proven to be master of Eat Tortilla and Nurture You, which have 1 and 2 sword styles respectively, meaning that Zoro doesn't necessarily need to use all 3 swords at any given time. In fact, despite being a swordman, so it doesn't need any blades to fight whatsoever, as he also uses the backup style of Moto Duel, literally meaning no sword style. Finally, Zoro also has access to Cure Audio, meaning 9 sword style of which stress it very little is actually known about the logistics of this. Essentially, Zoro is able to produce copies of his arm as well as swords which are somehow not illusions and are capable of dealing actual damage, substantially increasing Zoro's range and abilities. Zoro's progress as a swordman through the Grand Line has also earned him the ability to cut steel, as well as bounty of 120 billion berries. Prior to the time skip, his connection to his crewmates has also deepened during the journey, especially toward Luffy, for whom at any stage Zoro was ready and willing to sacrifice his life in order to ensure the safety of his captain. This was even taken a step further after the Straw Hats were forcibly separated on Savardi Archipelago. Zoro was sent to Iguana Island by Bartholomew Kuma, which is more commonly known as name home of Drake Mihawk. After some time, Zoro came to realization of exactly how weak he was and decided to beg Mihawk to train him so that he could become stronger. But Luffy's sake, Zoro spent 2 years training under Mihawk before reuniting with the Straw Hats, proving to be significantly stronger, faster, and able to use observation and armament hockey, the latter of which he generally imbues into his swords. As the Straw Hats travel through Fishman Island and into the New World, Zoro has displayed pure dominance over his encountered opponents as he continues to make good on his promise to never lose again, as well as to make way towards his ultimate dream of becoming world's greatest swordman. Some more fun facts about Zoro. After the time he skipped, Zoro appeared with a scar running vertically downwards his left eye. Now the scar was attained is currently unknown. At the time of recording, Zoro has used a total of 8 swords, those being his current lineup of water, Wichimangi, the Sandy Carta, and Shuzi, well as Yuba City to miscellaneous sword that were destroyed by Mihawk and Johnny and Yusoko's blades. This number increases to 10 if we count the 2 random marine cutlasses during the tail end of the Nice Lobby arc, and mighty 11 if we count Hana Arashi. literally meaning no storm, which was the result of upholding the Arusha tea while Zoro wielded Usopp himself following Durasaka arc. Zoro's strength was further recognized by the war government as his bounty was raised to 320 million berries. Roronoa, his name is based on real-life French pirate whose name I'm going to undoubtedly butcher. Francis Lowell and I. Originally, Zoro was planned to be introduced as part of Boogie's crew, in which he would have been a bodyguard. However, this idea was scrapped for a much better introduction taking place at Charlestown. According to Oda, if Straw Hats were to run a 50-meter race, Zoro would finish 5th, but also stressed that it is very important that it's only a 50-meter race because if it were any longer, Zoro would simply get lost. And finally, a truly useless fact: Zoro is the only One Piece character to have been referenced on The Simpsons, specifically in the Treehouse of Horror 25 episode, where one of many incarnations of the family featured Homer in Zoro's pastime.